the performance of the current administration, the promises of the renewed hope agenda, and the political choices before Nigerians are inevitably taking center stage. But beyond politics of 2027 are important questions about the last 3 years. What has changed? What has worked? Where are the gaps? And ultimately, what should Nigerians expect going forward? Now, our guest today is Honorable Oyetunde Ojo, Managing Director of the Federal Housing Authority and convener of the Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju. He joins us to discuss the administration's record, the renewed hope agenda, and of course, the road to 2027. I am Tijesu Adeoye of TVC News, and joining me is 3 gentlemen of the press. Right beside me is Bolaji Ogundele of the Nation's newspaper. He's the State House correspondent. Good morning. You're welcome. Also across me is Eshomomo Imodu of TVC News. He's a political editor. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
And also Fisayo Ogunfuyi of NTA News. He is the head of politics. It's good to have you, gentlemen, with us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you also, Honorable, for joining us this beautiful morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll begin the conversation with housing, which is your most present jurisdiction. And you head the Federal Housing Authority. Help us understand, in a time when millions of Nigerians are battling with affording decent housing, what would you say has the FHA delivered to ensure that, Nigerians can afford access decent housing at an affordable rate?
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers at home, watching us across various TV stations all over the world. Good morning to you, gentlemen and ladies around. First of all, I didn't say Adeswa. Arise, hope she's fine. I send my greetings to her. Let me start by introducing myself again. My name is Honorable Oyetunde Ojo. I'm the MD CEO of Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Like I said, when I assumed office, sometime 16 February 2024, the Federal Housing Authority was a moribund institution, and in which was just at the verge of collapse and being packed up. But now, we can say proudly that Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria, first, the institution must come to life. The staffs working with us must also come to life. These are people that will carry out government policies. Before I came, like I said, salaries were not being paid, allowances were not available, low attitude, low morals of staff. But we have passed that stage now. If I tell you then businessmen used to pay salaries for Federal Housing Authority, you won't believe. But right now we have passed that stage of people helping us to pay salary. We've now gone to that stage of remitting money into the consolidated revenue account. As at the middle of this year, we have remitted about 3.1 to 3.2 billion into the consolidated revenue to TSA. Now, as I speak to you, like I said, we met carcass on ground. We've been able to deliver some decent and affordable houses at Jordan in Ibadan, close to about 120 houses. We're still building more. Lugbe, we've been able to deliver another 100 housing units. Mr. President will probably soon commission Buhari close to 400 housing units for Nigerians as we speak. And this is the first time such a magnitude project has been built without 1 naira and 1 kobo or subvention from federal government in Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria. As we speak with you, 1,550 housing units has been procured for the Nigerian Army, which was built in less than a year. Less than a year, 1,550 housing units, soon to be commissioned by Mr. President for the Nigerian Army. That's in GB. As I speak to you, we have done 6 groundbreaking in the state. We are going to 17. Remember that we are not being funded, but these will be delivered very shortly. Commencement is about to start. Like I told you, we are now on digitalization. People are accessing home. Even though I'm an agency under the Ministry of Housing, which is being controlled by the Minister of Housing, PhD Dr. Rade, I can tell you vividly that Karasana is a new town, a new city of close to 3,000 housing units. The first phase will soon be commissioned by Mr. President anytime from now. That's about 2,000. If you've been to Karasana, Karasana is now a new city completely. You can move in from Guaripa straight. The Minister of FCT, His Excellency Nelson Wike, is working extremely for road constructions over there. So what are we trying to do? The congestion of houses in the main town, you must open a new town. Just like the way Lugbe, Guaripa, Festag, all these areas were open in those days. In Kano, close to about 500 to 600 housing units will soon be commissioned by the Minister of Housing. As I speak to you, in Lagos, close to about 500 as well will soon be commissioned. Groundbreaking, like I told you, has commenced in various states of the Federation. Odupani will soon commission, that's in Calabar by Federal Housing Authority. Not to talk of the private, the PPP, joint venture. This is the first time government is also coming in to collaborate with private investors, in which you people call real estate, because government is now providing infrastructure. What these people have been complaining all about is they have their money, but the government must provide the enabled field for them to invest. And if you go to Karasana now with what His Excellency Governor Wike has, His Excellency the Minister of FCT Nelson Wike has done, opening a new town. So private investors, like I said, and I stand to be corrected, presently, if you have to put an aggregation, there's an Emery fund of close to, I think 200 billion was released to Murphy, in which privates can also access. Because we have to be careful at this junction, not to just be looking at the government alone in the housing delivery. There are also Federal Mortgage Bank, who are also giving loans, mortgages to people. So as we speak now, I'm telling you, and I stand to be corrected here, over 10 to 12,000 houses, or close to 15, is ready for delivery. Some has been delivered for Nigerians in this current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So the question will be, you have told us about what is on the lay of the land, but between when you came in and now, what has really changed to make your organization more effective? Like you said, it was almost a ghost being exhumed. Now it shows some vitality with the numbers you've shared with us. So what is in the how?
Thank you very much. Like I said, the first is to thank Mr. President, because you must get the right peg in the right hole. You must employ the right set of people to do the job for you. What has really changed is the fact that leadership, and also that is what is changing now in the country. It's about leadership. Nigeria is not a difficult area to change. A lot of things have gone bad. In my agency, before, people don't come to work. Now they have clock out to come. Now, leadership, again, you have to be responsive. With the money, like I told you, that the agency is now making, remitting to the government, I failed to travel out of Nigeria. I've not traveled out of this country in the past 9 months. Because once the staff sees I'm using their money to travel first class, second class tickets outside Nigeria, within Nigeria, I drive myself on my Hilux Jeep. And I told my executive director, you have to show leadership by example. So training has increased in Federal Housing Authority, both local and foreign training. Oyetunde Ojo MDC has not gone for any training, but I make sure all my GMs, all my DGMs are having access. You cannot be in the beauty industry in this 21st century and not people. So what have we done? We've shown leadership. We've blocked loopholes by bringing in digitalization. Court processes have reduced against FHA because of this digitalization. In 21st century, we are in possession of close to about 5 trillion naira worth of property because we collect ground rents. And at the end of the day, before there was no digitalization. So we have blocked all loopholes. And that's why we can now tell Nigeria, remember before 2003, government subvention stopped. Over 500 billion has been put into Federal Housing Authority of Nigeria. What do I ask people? If it's your father's business and this thing is being willed to you with 500 billion naira from 1977 to 2003, are you going to watch it to be moribund? No. But because it's government, we all decide to look at things being moribund. And the president, we know, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, all of us got our marching orders to make sure nothing goes moribund. Staff welfare, as I speak to you today, except staffs who decide to use their personal vehicles, home, back and front. In Federal Housing Authority in Abuja, no staff pay for transportation. It's zero. Because you must boost the morale of the staff. Before I resumed, there was no light. You won't believe it. I was there 3 weeks, total darkness. And you want people to work. Offices were rambled and shackled. Health insurance, we are in the beauty industry. People have accidental health injuries over a long period of time. But as we speak now in Federal Housing Authority, immediately a serious health challenge is being reported to me. Under 24 hours, within my financial threshold for staff, I pay you nothing less than 5 million. Because people who have worked in this authority for long, and we know the hazard of working out there. So they see that they have a responsive leader. And that is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has told us to go and do.
All right, let's look at this other aspect. You commendable efforts on your side. Nigerians would like to understand also, we're entering the election season, and housing is going to be one major campaign too. What have you put in place to ensure that your projects, the allocation and commissioning don't become an issue of political patronage, so that it's open to every Nigerian and politics outside it?
Thank you very much. It cannot be. Because let me tell you, and I will use this medium to also advise Nigerians. Once we are doing groundbreaking and we post all these things on site, housing is not something you come and pick when the food is ready. You buy at the early stage. These are projects that take 1 or 2 years. So people have bought into it. Allocations have been done already to people. So when we are commissioning, in most cases, and to be honest, we verified that these are Nigerians who are in need. Yes, you can have 1 or 2 people finding their ways, but we make sure it's affordable. The Buhari, I'm telling you, 3-bedroom is about 15 million. When I came in till date with the increment, I still maintain the old price. It's just 2 minutes from law school. You need to go there. Thank God some of your reporters have been coming. The Nigerian Army scheme of 1,550 housing units. We've also talked to the Nigerian Army, which very shortly I'll be meeting with the Chief of Army Staff, so that soldiers, the junior ones, who are the frontline battle fighters, should be put more into consideration, and which I know the President Chief of Army Staff, I know the President Chief of Defense Staff, they care a lot about their ratings and their soldiers. So we make sure at the end of the day that politicians don't hijack it. We make sure at the end of the day we are not going to start using that as a campaign. The new ones we're about to do now, we are saying people should apply early. Housing is not something that you wait until the food is ready. All over the world, people put interest into housing. So it is not when the houses are fully built, that's when you think you get that. At the end of the day, maybe probably just less than 10% is available. So we're always telling Nigerians to make inquiries, go to our zone offices. I will not sit down and politicize anything. Especially, I know the importance of shelter. I have slept outside in many occasions. So I know the key value of the need for Nigerians having a decent shelter. So we will not politicize it.
Let me, if you permit, I would like to take you outside FHA and housing. Politics, we're in the political season now, and just a few days back, campaigns started. Recently, last week, although he wasn't there personally, but his message to political actors at the signing of peace accord was, let us not send out the wrong signals. It shouldn't be divisive. It shouldn't be ethnicized. What should Nigerians look forward to as we enter the political seasons, campaigns starting?
Well, thank you very much. Like I keep saying, and I will say it today, politicians, we are just less than 1% of the Nigerian population. We are only a vehicle, political parties, to propagate the message of our various political parties in seek for power. That's it. Remember, democracy is straightforward. Government of the people, by the people, and of the people. 99.9% are the people. What I want politicians to be saying, I said something in this last program, and I'll repeat myself today. For me, I'm here to say what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu G7 have done in 3 years. I want to talk about issues. I don't want to talk about person. I don't want to know if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is wearing bulletproof jeep or anything. What has been his impact to Nigerians in 3 years? That's what I'm here to tell now. And that's what I've been telling Nigerians. Now you also want to contest for any position should also come and tell Nigerians your manifesto. That is better than what is on ground. Let us don't ethnicize issues. Don't let us come in tribalism or religion. These are facts on ground. For our own side, we should be able to tell Nigerians what Mr. President have done in 3 years plus. On the side of our other people in various political parties, let me see your manifesto. I'm a student of politics, international relations and diplomacy. I still stand not to see their manifesto. And we are going to election in 6 months' time. If I stand here today, I can tell you what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done in the health sector. As we speak today, National Health Insurance Scheme has 37.4 million. As I speak to you today, the insurance health scheme. That means what I'm trying to tell you, from 22 million when it came in, it has risen to 37.4 million. Invariably, is to tell you how many people have been employed by this administration. The issue of JAPA in the medical field for the younger ones have reduced. What the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did across the whole health sector, he increased their salaries and wages, doctors, nurses, and other staff. So there is reduction in the JAPA sector. JAPA means people living for abroad because their salaries have been increased. Medical field generally, pharmacists, and that's why you've not seen a strike in 3 years plus. We all know what NMA used to do. Well, I'm also thanking MA, thanking all medical sectors for cooperating. Yes, the government can still do better, but salaries has been increased. As I speak to you today, Nigerians pay less than 15,000 naira for kidney dialysis. May we not have what is called kidney issue. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through the Ministry of Health, has reduced almost 74-75% from patients of kidney. About 6 to 7 or 8 kidney centers in Nigeria. We need to be extremely careful. Messages are not passed across. You go on to hospital now, you only need to federal hospitals and these kidney dialysis centers, you only need 12 to 15,000. The government is taking over something% of it. Frontline net workers. Before it used to be 5,000 workers all over the federation. Who are frontline net workers? Frontline net workers are your first, as the name implies, first line, like first aid, all over this country. Before the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have 5,000 frontline workers. That means your ward, your local government, or your locality. I'm not even talking about the state. I'm talking about rural. As I speak to you today, 22,000 from 5,000. That means President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his administration has employed, if you do a plus or minus, we are going about 16,000. This has helped to reduce maternity rates. That's the meaning. Right now, as I speak to you, you have low maternity rates, and that has helped to increase, has reduced the rate of mortality rate. Yes. As I speak with you, presently as we speak, the emergency number, like the white clef, please help me call 911. As we speak today, please help me call 112. The federal government ambulances will be at your doorstep. States are also replicating the same. Lagos State is 767. Ekiti also has its own. As you speak today, the federal government is also talking about the issue of local production of pharmaceuticals. I can tell you more than a lot in the health. If I move next, that's why I said I'm here to talk about issues.
Okay, hold on, gentlemen. Before we move to those issues, like you said, let's highlight the issues. The very recent issue right now is the issue of fake agencies. This has raised troubling questions across several quarters for an administration that claims to, be fighting corruption. How can unauthorized agencies operate under the nose of the administration? Who authorized these agencies?
Thank you very much. When did this fake agency started? If you really followed it, which I know you people are media, 2 other fake agencies have been discovered. About a couple of days ago, 2-3 PAMSEC were suspended. This didn't start during the time of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm telling you, it started around during the time of President Goodluck Jonathan. But you don't blame, I always say it, it's just as an NDCO. Sometimes you won't see some things. But you see, when it comes to your table, what makes President Bola Ahmed Tinubu very responsive, and I've told Nigerians, he will not keep it under the carpet. Immediately discovered one under him. What did he do? Immediately got ICPC involved. Immediately everybody that was involved. The agency was closed. The man is still under prosecution. I can't say anything until court gives its verdict. 2 others, fake agencies were now discovered. Couple of days ago. Now, the head of service, respected woman, admitted. Now she's on her way retired. And what did they do? They now decide, and all these things were able to be discovered because of the institutionalization of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the civil service of the country. Because now the way you saw the civil service before is not the way civil service are now. And that's why the retiring head of service, anytime he wants to talk, he gives praises to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You see, what matters most is not sweeping things under the carpet. That's what President Bola Ahmed, yes, there's fake agency, but that now leads us to, is this the first of its kind? As we speak now, no. So this thing has been happening before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in. We've seen 2 others, and a lot will be reviewed. But before, they will sweep it under the carpet. So Mr. President will not say everything. But that's why the publics are there, to notify. That's why you media are there. One good thing we should thank Mr. President of is dealing with issues. He's not sweeping anything under the carpet.
All right, let's talk about some issues as well. The political season is here, and some of the, let's say, candidates has already said that it doesn't see much about this subsidy or no subsidy. In fact, it's bringing back subsidy. You just tell us a little bit about the gains of the subsidy removal and why perhaps it may be a bit opaque to some of the guys in the grassroots, expecting it to trickle down faster than it has.
Thank you very much. I've told you about the health sector. Now you give me a window to talk about issues. People don't understand the definition of subsidy. Subsidy in Nigeria is just being pointed to oil. Overseas, subsidy costs across all board welfareism. People should start laying this subsidy to oil. That's what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done. Because the subsidy was a racket. That's the whole truth. I have told you what subsidy I've done in the health sector. Let me tell you the advantage again of subsidy in the educational sector. You and I know, and we have to say the truth. Before now, we know the tuition fees. Now fund has come in to help students who cannot afford to pay in full as a subsidy, not to say they don't want to go to school. And what has that done? Every parent now in Nigeria, every student doesn't have to drop out from school. The federal government has subsidized. Let's use the word subsidy very well. I'm now using it in education with now fund. The billions being put into the subsidy in education. Secondly, ASU.
No strike in 3.5 years. The government have met with the terms, some terms and conditions, and the improvement of welfare, provision of equipment in schools like buildings, like teaching conditions. That's also subsidy. That's why in 3 years now, you've not heard of any ASU strike. Yes. I've also thanked the ASU because it's good to understand. You see, don't let us politicize anything. So on the educational sector, the government have used all these subsidy funds to make sure they key in critical things. I was in Oshogbo about 2 months ago, just sitting outside. I saw some first students. Thank God I have a witness who was with me, the chairman of Federal Character Commission, Honorable Nisomidiro. This first student came. I asked this young student, what level are you? They said they are in 400 level. I said, how old are you? They said they are 20. I didn't know when I told them that you are liars. That Honorable Nisomidiro now said, how can they be liars? I said 20 years old, 400 level. I thought it was during my own time I was using 26 years, 8 years to study first degree. Only for me to realize truly there is no strike. So that means they entered at 17 plus. Now they are graduating. In short, they even wrote their final exams. I just decided, God Almighty. So this young student will end their PhD in another 8 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. None of you here, you interviewers here, did not face the battle of strike. So, for the fact that students can go to school now, do 4 years at 4 years, as I speak to you, you will be seeing decline in students entering private schools. That's also a disadvantage. Because the major reason why students go to private school is this issue of time. Spending 8 years for 4-year course. Now President Tinubu in the educational sector has resorted to that. Now you want to go into what you call, I always say, where my Igbo brothers operate, port authority. Like my friend said one thing, my little brother friend, Whiskey, for Oju Elegba, they know my story, for Modok Studio. Please, I will tell you one thing. 2016, 2017, 2018, I, Oyetunde Ojo, I've said it over time, I had my business. Your politics is not a full professional work in Nigeria. What do I do then? A company called Hooligan Global Services. I'm into containers. I have trucks. That 2016-17, from Kobakba in Abeokuta to Shagam, the viewers are watching me. Straight to Capital, my two select coconuts. They know me very well. I used to be under the trailer because I'm an Ekiti man. You don't beg. Now we'll be sleeping under the trailer for 3 days, 4, 5 days to pick containers off the port. Is what we all knew as at that time. As you speak today, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president, look at the rating of port index of clearance of goods from Apapa Port, Tinkan. Now we've been rated number 12 by Port Index Authority. Now my brothers who does those business don't complain again for buying and selling. That
okay, let me take you back to something.
Has affected. No, as we speak today, over 600 million to 1 billion pounds has been invested by the British government and in collaboration with Nigerian government to Nigerian Port Authority. Do you know the meaning of Tokumbo? For those of us that have been plying road before for 20-30 years, Ilakoji, Aflawa and others, people who go by road to Ghana knows all these places in Togo. The meaning for Tokumbo is a fact that some of the Apapa ports cannot belt some containers because our queues are bad. Now with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the heavy dredging is going on, these queues are being reported. There will be nothing called Tokumbo again. Because there will be no container ship in this world that Tinka and Apapa will not budge. That's the cause for Tokumbo. Togo now decided to take that advantage for import duty free. That's the whole truth. Me, I've been in Tokumbo business like 20 years ago, driving Tokumbo cars. So all these streets are, and that's why when Mr. President came in, these were issues. Some of us, I knelt down immediately, won the primary. I said, Daddy, you have nothing, you are not looking for anything in life. things have to change. Move to correctional center. Now, as I speak with you, I want to talk issues so that how it affects a common man is the most important thing. Politicians, we are only less than 1%. The voters are the remaining 99%. How does this thing affect them? Go into our prison.
Just before you go into, so that we can just take it sector by sector. Yes.
Yeah, earlier you talked about what the government has done in the aspect of healthcare and all that. But would you say it is efficiency when the tax that statutorily should be the responsibility of the local government, like primary health care, that the federal government has invested so much in primary health care? Now, what exactly are you putting in place to ensure that the local government administration take up this responsibility? That it's not just the federal government driving it. The local government will do what it ought to do according to the law.
Yeah, that's very good. There's a Supreme Court judgment that is now mandating the states that funds should go directly to the local governments. And this is the first of its kind done under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But let me tell you, as a father, you should know what things goes bad. Yes, you've given your wife money to cook. You've tell your children go and buy food in the market. Probably you send a child you've given your wife. And if there are failures in that system, remember that we run a constitution, the federal, the state, and the local governments. We cannot wait. Nigerians are too much in a hurry. I always tell something, it's just a proverb in Yoruba. Who kills a snake doesn't matter. What matters is the snake should die. So, if the local government, I don't want to go into state issue because what the states are receiving is subsidy. Many state governors are saying it out. A lot of them are very patriotic. I will use Ekiti State for an example. This drives me to issue of subsidy. Ekiti State find it extremely difficult to pay salary. You can ask Governor Biodun Ebagi if he's watching us today before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into being. Before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to being, Governor Biodun Ebagi could not actually pay pensioners. But as we speak today, the governor is not just only paying salaries as at when due, he's not paying backlogs of pensioners at when due, but as I speak to you today, projects are being done as at when due in Ekiti State. The airport road Governor Biodun Ebagi did in 2005, that such road would have taken about 4, 5, 6 years. He did it in less than 1.5 years. Subsidy removal money has been given to the state. For the first time, Nigeria is now connected. So we will have to appeal to the governors, which the governors are in the southeast. The governors are responding, reciprocating back to the federal government. So the issue of local government, yes, we know there's a Supreme Court judgment. Yes, we know there's an accountant general of the federation in terms of financing and disbursement. But the president first, which is the main leader now, is being responsive by making sure fact. We all saw the fact of this month. If that what we saw is true, that means Ekiti State to 20 billion. These were things that were only being taken by Bayelsa, Rivers, Delta. There is no need for Ekiti State to go to bond. So local governments, now, it is obvious. People should also question states. I've told you what my own governor is doing with his own money. States should also be questioned. If my governor is watching me as well, he's also listening that. And I know in the health sector, my governor has pumped in a lot. He also has state recruitment of these frontline workers. I don't have data of the state. I will go further. State varies. Like I told you, the 112 of federal government and Lagos in terms of emergency ambulance, Ekiti State too will have its own. And they are expanding a lot of primary health care center. So I don't want to go into what I don't know what goes on in Akwa Ibom now, for example. I don't know what goes on in Kogi State. But I can see Kogi fighting insecurity. That means it's also. So I want to focus myself mainly on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, his effect on Nigeria, his policies to citizens who are the most people that we are talking about issues.
Yeah, you said how it affects the ordinary man, and I've heard the president talk about his primary concern is the most vulnerable of the population. But people who are raising issues about how he removed subsidy from fuel, which is the reason they say the power to buy things for Nigerians actually dropped, because subsidy was removed the way he removed it all of a sudden. How do you think he did it properly? Because to the opposition, he did it wrongly, and that is why it's affecting the ordinary man. The problem the ordinary man faces today is having the power to purchase, how to live the least comfortably. How do you think he ought to have done it? If what they are saying, if you do not agree with them, did he do it right?
He did it very, very right. Very, very right. You see, I would have not agreed with it if I'm not seeing those funds being subsidized in other areas. We need to be careful. That's why I said the definition of subsidy. We are only putting it on oil. We are not putting it on welfareism. He removed the subsidy. He created alternative. The alternative will start coming, which is the CNG gas. As I speak to you now, yes, people are saying they don't have access. They don't. I was happy a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I was traveling in Lokoja, Felele, NNPC filling station precisely. There's a CNG gas over there now. Gradually, with time, government has done a deregulation of a lot of sectors. By the time in Abuja now, you'll be seeing 1 or 2 queues or 3 queues access. I am telling you, in another 4 years, people are already building CNG stations. People have moved away from petroleum. They've got alternative electricity in Kano now. People use motorbikes, keke marua, charging it with power. Why is it oil, petrol? Countries that doesn't have petrol, don't they survive on crude oil? He has provided an alternative. From the subsidy money, he is using it to take care of other welfareism angle, which I've said on the health sector, I've said on the educational sector. I'm about to tell you also on the issue of interior. Before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came, I'm telling you the effect of subsidy money. Because we should not just be saying petrol, buying food. Look at the roads. Yes, he's doing borrowing. People are not complaining about roads again. Because I know I've attended a lot of sessions with him, and I was mentioning roads from town to town. And thank God for the Minister of Works as well. Showing Nigerians in this country, it used to be road issue, come at airport, the road is bad. Right now, until when I got to Abuja, that I realized that they don't change shops. If you are in Lagos or you are in my village, you change shops every day because of bad road. Thank God Governor Sanwo-Olu is also improving a lot of things. Look at the roads in Abuja. So the same road in Abuja, is it not good for me traveling from Ibadan to Warri? So that I apply to Oluku Junction. I go to Ogara. From Ogara, I move to Sapele now to Warri to Ugeli to Bayelsa Junction. Go and check all the federal roads over there. Are you coming from Abuja? From Abuja, you are going to Lafia to Makurdi to Ogbolafo, you move. I'm going through the east. Go and check all the roads. So what is he using subsidy money for? Is he chopping it? Is it not to do infrastructure that you affect? How many percentage of these people travel by air? The majority of the Nigerians does road travel. That's why a lot of insecurity have reduced. Bad road is a major cause for kidnapping. For those of us who go by road, once there is a good road, I can tell you effectively with a good road, let any human being start in my front, whether I will not kill him and says he wants to kidnap me.
All right.
But when you are in portals, definitely you'll be overpowered.
We can't turn our eyes away from these issues, but there are allegations that persist about an unelected cabal influencing access, appointments, and major decisions at the presidency. Who exactly controls the power in Aso Rock, and what evidence can the administration point to that President Tinubu is truly in charge?
Thank you very much. I thought before President Bola met Tinubu, when he won the election, I was on a particular TV station, I think TVC, and I warned everybody about President Bola met Tinubu. I am telling you, I think the people that knows him very well, even as I'm talking to you, I think some Nigerians know my relationship with him. You cannot operate a cabal with Tinubu. Tinubu controls Asoro and controls Nigeria. Let me tell you, this is a man that has traversed all over this country. This is a man that has different information gathering. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sent you on one errand, he's sending 10 other people on the same errand. I will say you something, and that's why people will say probably I'm one of the closest because of my relation. But if I don't do my work, Mr. President will relieve me. And I keep telling my people, I will give you. You said there is a cabal. Have you forgotten some ministers that had to go? I don't want to mention them. Answer the question yourself.
But some people may not agree with what you're saying now. That there are not, that it doesn't have some people that has, such influence that others cannot claim.
Live in isolation.
Okay.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not know all the vacancies in agencies. He will know all the vacancies in parastatals. He will know all the people that worked for him. People will have to come and say, this agency is available. We need Mr. Yes, there are issues like that. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not somebody you will tutor. That you now says, without you. I am telling you, in short, he will flog you. You better be very careful. I've been telling Nigerians about him. He reads up to about 10 newspapers every day. He watches all TV stations. You don't know who is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's why he talks less. He's not somebody a cabal can work. There is no discipline you come. Like I said, he will not be the one appointing executive director of this, but very key institution. When I was appointed, where were the cabals? He said, move into Federal Housing Authority and flush that place and put it properly. But is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to sit down with PAs and start appointing? People will give him names. It is obvious. But do you know the meaning of cabal? That will never operate under President Bola. But he will listen to advice before he takes decision.
Is he getting the right advice?
I am telling you, he is getting the right advice. And that's why people like us, some of us, no matter what those people perceive to be, will tell him the truth. And that's why I can sit here and I can tell you what this man has done in 3.5 years. Because by the time some of us will say, Daddy, there's a problem here. Daddy, there's a problem here. Daddy, there's a problem here. He has held out. And he listens to everybody. The visitors he receives. His telephone is talking to people. He can call the market woman in Agege. You remember that this is a grassroots man. So if you call him now and say something is happening in Kano, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows almost every local government in Kano and he has his contacts. So even if you are a minister from Kano and you think you are briefing or you are a cabal, by the time he will use his phone and says, sorry, I want to copy him a bit, he will say, Abdullahi, what am I hearing? What is happening in your local government in Kano? He will call 3 people, 4 people in different local governments in this country. So by the time you bring those things, he will be watching you. And that's why when he strikes, I've told you about one, which you and I would have said is part of, at the initial stage, that was the main. You don't do cabal with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You want works to be done. Ask those who worked under him in Lagos State. So that's why I tell people, the more you see him, the more you are in crisis. You better go and work and let him be watching your result in order for...
All right, let's quickly look at the party's campaign council ahead of the 2027 elections. A lot of the members of the council are also people who hold positions of authority in the current administration. Some worry that, yes, we have 5 months, 6 months, at least, but to the end of the, tenure, we still have about 9 or so months. Will politics not hinder delivery in terms of some of the sectors that these people still had?
How will he hinder delivery?
Since they are parts of the campaigns.
What is campaign council? People being coordinated for an election. You need people. Oh, how many states are here? How many wards are here? How many these are here? How many voters register? You need to have a think tank plan. American does it. UK does it. Does that affect the administration? Because in Nigeria before, I know where you are going. 1 year to election, administration activity is down. 1 year after election, administration activity is down. People have said it over the time there is only 2 years. Nigeria uses in every 4-year cycle of that period. But I can tell you vividly, look at most of the people that was appointed in this council. Check. Yes, some people might be grumbling, some might not be grumbling. How many CEOs and head of agencies did you find there? I want to know. How many ministers did you find there? I'm not saying they are not 1, 2, 3 CEOs, but look at the composition and sit down. And for your information, like I said, some people must sit down to plan. But you don't need, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't need, I'm telling you, as much as he needs the campaign council, he knows who is working for him in Ekiti. He knows who is working for him in Oyo. He has telephone numbers. Because this is a man, like I told you, knows even the grassroots person in almost local government. So the campaign council, yes, people must work, come together. People have intelligence, who have knowledge, who have done it before, who made it work. You understand? But it's not every CEO's remedy that is. And people know that doesn't stop you from performing your rightful function.
All right. Still on this campaign council, you talked about some ministers that exited. You didn't mention their names, but in the campaign council, some people have raised issues with a former minister who was relieved and she's back on the campaign council. Now, would you say that shows zero tolerance to corrupt tendency?
Is campaign council the constitution of Nigeria?
But it's a party issue.
Wait. That's it. The campaign council ends this day of election. Are you telling me?
Is it a burden or an asset?
It can be an asset. Let me be honest with you. When it comes to politics, you see, in politics, I will advise you, go and meet a butcherman and meet with a carpenter or somebody who has 4 wives, 10 children. Patronize that person more than a professor who has 1 wife and 2 children, because then you are looking for figure. Now that person, by the time they call, you must also have forgiving spirit. I'm not saying the person should not face the law. Are you getting me? If the person has a constituency or a ward she can hold on to, are you getting what I'm saying? This person you are talking particularly was a former woman leader. You cannot rise to the level of a woman leader of a party, even though she did 1 or 2 mistakes. She had paid her price. That's another issue. And nobody is guilty until he's found guilty by the court of law. Let's be careful. There has been no procurement, no announcement yet by any court of law that says this person is convicted. So when you are not being convicted, yet you are a journalist, you cannot say it could be a lie until facts are established, until the judiciary, the judges, give the pronouncement. So as she is now, what Mr. President did for her was to say, an allegation has been pushed towards you, step aside. Go and defend yourself. And that's what I was trying to tell you about Mr. President. Go and defend yourself. If it's proven otherwise, anybody can lie on anybody. Until the judiciary comes with another arm of God and says, this person is guilty. As at now, she's not guilty. She's only been alleged. And Mr. President, in the past, when people are alleged like that, they will sit down now, still be gallivanting. Or Mr. President says, step aside. So we need to educate Nigerians better that until you are found guilty, you are still innocent. Yes, that's the law, until proven guilty. So to me, I think she's still innocent because her case is gone. So because of that, she will not work again. She will not earn a living in her private life. She will not walk on the streets.
You've made your point. We have 7 more minutes before we go on a break, but question.
I just need you to take a look at Nigeria's economy. Some are saying the way things are, talking about whether we, as citizens, whether we're able to buy what we want. Is the president piloting Nigeria's economy rightly as it affects individual citizens, the ordinary people that he's so concerned about, how it affects us? Do you think he's...
Thank you very much. He's doing it rightly at 100%. He will not do it in one day. Remember that this collapse did not start with him. The last time I was on this media live chat, I sang the music as far back as 1984. Ilule Kosobolo, somebody sang it. Nigeria scatter, some people jaga, oh yeah, somebody sang that music. Tinubu was not the president then. Now, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, things have gone extreme. Nigeria was in ICU, intensive care unit.
But people were still able to buy things.
Wait. You see, the definition of buying things, you need to be careful. In United Kingdom, where I stayed very well, some people cannot afford passport, British passport to pay. Some things are luxury. But we now want to come to feeding. You see, that's the first food, clothes, shelter. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, how much was bag of rice? I've said it. As he was in, the bag of rice was skyrocketing. Now bag of rice has gone to 50,000-60,000. I go to the market, I've told you, basket of tomato when President Bola Ahmed first came in was about 120,000-130,000. Go to market in Lagos, Mile 12. A basket is now about 60,000-70,000. Tatashe, I don't know if you know Tatashe Rodo Shombo. What was the market price when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in? Now, import duties are also going down on vehicles. Vehicles will start coming down. The president announced that some import duties to be removed. What I will be begging Nigerians for, I have said it. Please, let's be patriotic. I said it on a live TV, which nobody can fault me. Most Marwa, most Uber, and all these but uses CNG. You can start seeing them now. And they are still charging petrol money. Is that all I'm making? Why can't we be patriotic and say, I bought this CNG gas for 6,000 naira. Let me try and reduce the cost of transportation costs for Nigeria. Go, I said it here last time. Nobody could fault me that what I was saying. Go to Mowo Ibafo, see people are queuing. They all have that CNG gas under Marua. They have it at the boot of their vehicle. Take an Uber. Take a boat. It will ask you a question. How many people are entering? Do you know why? Because the CNG gas is in the boot. So the more people it carries, you can imagine a vehicle that is supposed to carry one in front, 3 people at the back, knowing that you put load in the boot and it has that gas there.
But Honorable, there's supposed to be an agency, consumer protection agency, where it's supposed to regulate prices and also quality of goods. What is that agency doing concerning this?
You see, the major thing is enforcement. And I'll be honest with you. You see, when things have been rotten, and you see, for you to enforce, you need patriotism. You see, the Consumer Protection Agency, Nigeria is a very big state. And a lot of things has decayed.
All right, now, I'd like you to hold that thought because we need to take a quick break now. We'll still come back to this issue. Don't go anywhere, we still have more for you. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
to say what Mr. President have done. So guys are not some of us. That's why you see on my yes, you see that Zach, the chairman was speaking. People are talking, but like you said, there must be a meeting system. Once after this program, was an opportunity to see Mr. President once, and I know spoke about it, which I got my feedback. I will also get back. Like I told you in my youth, who kills a snake doesn't matter. What matter is let the snake be dead. This is also a means of communication, one of the biggest means as well. So if I have the facts on my hand and I move around, yes, also journalism, I should be able to say to what I also know. So this is a means of communication. But like I said, those 30 people will handle the rest.
All right. Look at your group is Swagger, the Southwest Agenda for Shiwaju. The last time there was an outing in the Southwest was in Osun State. In spite of the huge number of big boys, so to speak, that went to Osogbo, it didn't really turn out well for the party at the center. Now, the president is campaigning on the platform of a party. How sure are you that the foot soldiers are spreading this message very well? Because the last outing and the last outing, you were pipped to the post.
First thing, let's thank Mr. President for allowing democracy to play its role, for allowing the people's to emerge. It was in some years back, you and I in this country knows what. We saw that the account was frozen by EFCC. What did Mr. President do? Because these were things pushed against while he was in opposition. Immediately saw it done under his rule. Quickly unbanned that. Now, you saw his speech that was released a day to the election. You can't have it all. We won Ekiti. Some other areas. We are not expected to win everywhere. We lost Osun 4 years ago at the presidential ballot. We also lost it 4 years ago at the state level. But we won the presidency. Presidency is about cumulative vote. And thank God for Governor Adeleke. There are some other internal issues that happened. Big boys you send to an area doesn't matter. This is democracy. It's the people. If the people say this is what they want, and immediately you see the spirit of sportsmanship with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he congratulated the Adelekes, congratulated the governor, and the governor came back the second day and thanked him for allowing democracy to operate. Remember, this is the first time that even all governors that won 4 years ago went to Supreme Court. And for the first time in this country, no governor lost. They all came back to thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We know the way it was 1990 era before Tinubu. And that gave those governors. You see, reason I usually tell people, they never believe President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not interfere. And President Bola Ahmed said, let the court decide. The people have decided, let the court decide. And that's why you saw most of the governor coming. First thing they believe in is democratic principle of fairness in election, in everything. And most of these governors voluntarily came back. So the loss of Osun is there. We lost with about 70,000. And got the cumulative election. The governor has said he will support. Last time when we lost Osun, Ekiti came with 200 and something thousand. Now we won Ekiti with 350. We lost Anambra. The governor of Anambra, Mr. Solution, said he will support Mr. President. Should we by must every time be saying you want to? Some people might tell you yes, they want to be like Soti. He told me vividly in a secret talk, he said, President who is doing well for Nigerians. Does that mean if we go for the governorship election, we should go and hijack the state from him? No. People say that's what they want for governorship. What can you do? You can't do anything.
All right.
So the issue of Osun, the big boys, is not an issue. They are only supporters. You must have people rallying around you when you are doing anything. They didn't go there to influence anything. It's the outcome of the election.
Just stay with the Osun issue. Some persons have also said that because the president did not deploy federal might, whatever that means, that if he had deployed federal might, the story would be different. But the possibility of a sitting president deploying federal might also suggest the possibility of the governor. We're talking about state governor, when we have the state police also deploying the state's might during election. Those assurances that ahead of 2027, the state police in place, we're not going to have a tendency where state governors will deploy the state police to influence in their own favor.
Let me tell you, and I will repeat here, the way we did elections in 1999 is not the way elections. We all need to be careful. 1999, we didn't have all these phones, Twitter, WhatsApp, all these things. You see, the will of the people is difficult to submerge. Let me be honest with you. There's no state. If the people, this is where they are going, will you kill all the citizens? Either federal might or no federal might. When the people of Lagos State in 2003 said they were going with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the then president had all the federal might. He was a retired general. But the people of Lagos State said no, and they stood with UK. So we need to be careful. That's why I tell people about this state police not to bother. Water will find its level as it goes. You can't submerge the will of the people. That's why the will of the people is very strong. And that's why that demarcation I told you, the definition, government of the people, by the people, for the, he never said government of the arms. He never said government of animals. The people's will. That's it. There is no way. State police not also a human being. They know the constitution would have given them their role. When Amotekun, you see, that's one mistake we did. People were fighting. Amotekun should not exist in Amotekun in the last administration. They were killing people. The state governor, led by late governor of Ondo State, said no, people must be protected. The objection then was Amotekun will be used to win election. Now the issue of Amotekun has gone past all of us because they are using pop action and daylight gun. What effect on election do you see last month's on election? Do you see Amotekun? The people will challenge. The people will challenge. You are in an election polling unit. You have over 500, 1,000 people voting. You think you come with one AK-47 and you think people, at the time they are going to decide their fate with consent, they would. So people should not worry. When President Goodluck Jonathan was there, nobody believed the people. When the people came and they said it is APC they wanted, that's why I love President Goodluck Jonathan. At any people is above any other person. So we should not worry. Let's do the right thing. The state police is needed. And thank God now it's going down. When I went on TV, when the Oyo issue started, I told them, I think it was a New Central, I said the president will not deploy excessive force because we will lose those children. And thank God, my words there, they will be brought back home. Yes, the casualty was lost, but it's good than losing the organ. And as we speak now, a lot of things, like I said, military hardwares are not what you get in one day. Yes, a lot of it is coming back now. Things have been going down gradually. He's been using his intelligence level, getting feedbacks from all the intelligence officers of various intelligence security agencies we have in the country. And you can see that it started. Yes, election period, people also take advantage. I tell people about our borderline. porous border system, even what the Interior Ministry is doing, using the immigration to capture a lot, most people don't even know Nigeria. You see, they only come to TVs and talk. And I always say it, people just fly from Lagos to Abuja, London to Lagos. If you see what is going on, Muritala Mohammed International Airport now, you will praise President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for being the president of Nigeria. Now, as we also speak, because you have to be very careful. That's why I said, I love this your question. And that was what now I have to tell you, that is the people's issues I want to talk about. What has this administration impact on people? As I speak to you now, I was trying to talk about correctional centers. Recidivism. What does recidivism, if I'm right with that word? It is when people commit crime and they are being discharged and they come back. During the time of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, about 11,000 were left off the hook, either completion of sentence, either this or that. As I speak to you today, people being caught back for crime is less than 1,400. The facts are there. Go and check with Interior and prisons. What has this administration done? Why people are now in prison? As I speak to you, over close to 30 inmates in this country are doing their second degree masters. As I speak to you, close to 400 inmates, or 300 plus, are doing their first degree inside the prison. As I speak to you, close to 1,000 plus are learning artisan skills. For those of us in the construction industry will be able to tell you this. When I go to site, I try to question them. What do we have to do? Going to the prison, coming out doesn't mean you should throw them away. And he said in the prison, he learned bricklaying. In the prison, I learned welding. And in the prison, so by the time they are leaving the prison, they are not just coming empty barrel into the larger society, because these are people that have been kept somewhere for over a time. Now, they fit in immediately. They go and look for a job. In another 3 weeks, you will know them. That has really helped. Look at feeding. If you have ever visited somebody in the prison, be it maximum or medium, the feeding has improved by 50%. That's what I'm talking about, subsidy. People don't understand what this subsidy is all about. They cut across all. 50%. Inmates now eat nutritional food because their feeding has increased at 50%. Now, when this administration came in, go and check. Some people in the prisons were probably just brought in for crime of 50,000 naira. You know, may God save us. Like you were talking about health issue, that I told you that until you have health challenges, may we not have it. Amen. That's when you know what dialysis is all about, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This government has cleared with some other agencies that works in prison, over 600 million debt of prisoners. Because there are some prisoners that knows nothing. What has that done? It has reduced prison congestion by 5%. Because they now say, okay, what are you owing? 50,000. They move to court, they settle. Nobody is hearing all this. You can ask the Minister for Interior Affairs. Now, let's go to fire service. You see, the people's will is critical. I'm sorry. Fire service, response time. First, I will take as an example. Go and do your findings with fire service. The response time to any accident or fire incident now is less than 15 minutes. Check. That's why the level of property damage, yes, you still have some, maybe those high-rise buildings in Lagos, but check any accident in Abuja, in states. Firstac, there was a fire. Before that fire incident, I went to Firstac office where you have the fire service. I asked them, do they need anything? They said no. Serious. Now there was not, sorry, let me quickly drop. Now there was not a fire incident in Firstac, which I think was all over. A flat was getting burned. Before I could call the fire service myself as CEO, they've already quenched the lights. Response time. Property safe. They now have equipment. They now go for training. They now do a lot of things. Sorry.
I want us to go to something that has to do with security, because we started from security from Bakusi. Small things, when they are not treated, when they are small, become big ones. There is an issue within Abuja can also be found in other states across the country, where you see beggars, let me just say that, flooding the roads. In Abuja, you see them offering you services you are not even needing. People have thought, okay, these people, they are not doing anything. You see them everywhere. God forbid if there is a crisis, these are the same people that will start burning houses, looting and things like that. Is it not possible for government, through some of its agencies, to start working about clearing the streets? They are Nigerians. They need to be taken care of. But where they are is not where they should be. Shouldn't we start working on avoiding that kind of scenario that is in the minds of many people? People are afraid.
Thank you very much. You see, I will use this opportunity, I will answer your question probably in 2 dimensions. I will use this opportunity to talk to our leaders, our religious leaders, our clerics, to also be talking to people, especially the younger ones, because that's where you are going. You see, overseas, education is one to build a country, putting your physical power into it. As I said, it is not a school. And let me be honest, you go to school and you graduate CNG. Typical graduate of a BNG has to be in office, or she has to be in office with a. While you go abroad and you see a BNG graduate is on site. And that's what happened when I resumed as MD and I started enforcement. Like I said, the issue of enforcement. People said, managing director enforcing. By the time I go out, I come back so dirty. You see, we need to start talking to people, and that's why I say religious organizations who gets probably on a Friday, on a Sunday. So let our youth know that there is employment opportunity. They need to start learning what is called ATA. If you go to the university now and you graduate, just go and learn welding for another 2 years. I've told you I was a mechanic under trade, and I learned it 2016, 17, 18, and I left House of Reps. A lot of my colleagues will never have done that. That was why I sang. And I said, on that route of Kobape to think and ask about me, Oye. People was a fraud that I was not the president-in-law. That what will I be doing? Yes, I've lost the election. Will I fold my hand? You see, we must educate our youth. Gens is now coming to tell them that there are opportunities for those people to start working. Number 2, you realize His Excellency, the Minister of FCT, is opening a lot. You see, the more you open in Guanipa, we are opening, we are pushing all these people out. You understand? You must tell us what you are doing. There are construction work going, you are not working. There are this going, you are full-body people. We know that they will be ready for that. But if you don't open up areas, you don't push up areas, people have. And you see, it's not just pushing them out, because no matter where you push them, they start another life there. That's why I said it's about the information, getting to them that there is job opportunity, not just white-collar job. You see, these things is bringing an issue. Do you know you cannot get a welder in Abuja to do a job for you in 48 hours? How busy the welders are. Lagos, Abuja, everywhere. Bricklayers you cannot get. I'm not talking about even in a kitchen. But you see somebody will be telling you, boy, because I'm a BSc holder, I must not use my physical power to work. And that was what I taught them in FHA. They see me pushing wheelbarrow. Yes. And that's why in the American army, in the British army, you see generals going to the battlefield to fire gun. Yes. If you are strong, you see, don't need to teach once. I'm not saying their life, but it should not just be because I studied social degree and 24 years old, I'll be saying there is no job. Learn other things. That's why I respect our feminine.
You find out that our ladies and our girls nowadays, once they graduate, even before graduation, they'll be learning tailor, fashion designing. Go and check up. And of them have even forgotten what they say academic papers. But that's why I'm talking to the men. Leave Yahoo Yahoo. You are a man, you are expected to have more bones. If the profession you study, there is work out there, go to Gusape Construction, everywhere in Abuja, Ekiti, construction going, go and learn welding. Thank God for technology. When I was under my truck moving in, so far was no shame. It's only a thief that you should be ashamed of yourself. Once you work and you earn the money, that's why I always tell people, check in all these places you have mentioned, how many of my Igbo brothers are there? They are hustlers. They move around. An Igbo man will not sit down. Let us be honest. They don't beg.
All right, Honorable. Speaking about correcting or pushing the narrative to youth, narrative that Nigerian politics do or die affair among the youth population, and this has injected so much toxicity to Nigerians. Now, with this issue of federal might even coming into play, saying that maybe there's a possible influence from the federal level into elections. Now we even celebrate that, okay, the president will interfere in Oshu elections. The 2027 general election, assurance would the youth have that it will be a free and fair election whereby there won't be any interference from the federal level or any level at all. And also, there is this G100 among the House of Representatives caucus, I think the minority caucus, pushing for a single candidacy among that will confront President Tinubu in the coming elections. Would you say that this is a credible alternative for Nigerians, or this is just merely unseating, the incumbent and maybe overthrowing the power they call federal might?
First of all, let me use the Nigeria administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a Democrat, reputable Democrat that has been for democracy during the ministry, doesn't believe in what you call federal might. Let me tell you what President Tinubu does. Walks before time. I want to give you an example. You know my relationship with him. Iyaloja everywhere. First lady is working everywhere. Everybody that is associated with Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working. I'm just saying the immediate family. If it was some president, the immediate family will go and sit down. Every one of us will move air to get to the people. You need to be careful, and we need to advise our youth. End of the voting capital. I will advise those 100 voters. When I see that, and in the main capital city, and people start doing political analysis, I'll be laughing. Ask them, where is the award meeting? In Absokoro, in Maitama. Where is the award meeting point? Where do they do meetings? Politics is not so there's a difference. You come and you talk to press. You can't tell me as I'm seated here now, you mention my name in Ekiti. They will tell Oye is on. And I make sure every 10-15, when the I went to my side, please be patient. Please be doing this. And that's what Bola Ahmed does 4 a.m. every day. Don't know him. People are working heavily. And he said it during the last campaign. He said, my people are working for me. You have more than 5,000 soldiers working for this man. So by the time you come, I looked at some of the list of this so-called G100. It's easier to form G5,000. Tell me that G100. Let them come to Ekiti. Let me see the work they are doing. You see, let's stop this
in my village, my farm settlement, they don't have Android phone. They only use all these 5,000 naira phone. So sometimes we are passing messages on Android phone, is getting to less than 25% of the population. Why political meeting? I put a cross to some of these political parties. Last election, and I will say it on the national TV during President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last election, it was only APC and PDP that had party agent in 16 polling units of my country. Yes, I will say it. Labour never had party agents. Then you will be on national media. You will be talking. You see, let them come, I will lecture. They are my elders. So I don't want to always have issues. I'm trained not to have political, but I will tell them they can pay. Look at Trump. Second time. Can you see? You move. You have your people. And won the first time. That's how Trump won the second time. Movement. Move working for you. You and I were looking at Trump the first time as he was moving with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has moved very well. He now has who believes in his mandate, in his leadership, all moving around the federation for him.
All right, talking about movement, in terms of the, President has done, I would say, in the chair, that is already the competence that you have shown being in the chair. One of the main things you mentioned now is the issue of local government autonomy and to get government to the grassroots. That is one aspect, because we noticed councillors came and endorsed them last week or 2 weeks ago. But in terms of the performance, if you look at the figures, states are now getting almost 3-4 times what they used to get. But have they done enough to advertise this government based on the quantum of money that has come, resources that have come to the state? We are hearing the figures. We see the sharing federal allocation every month. The people are, why is this basket stopping? Where is at the grassroots level? Why is it not getting? And that, as you said, the votes will come from the grassroots.
Thank you very much. I will tell you that the states are working. This is a very low key. Use my state as an example where there were bad roads over a period of time. Any farmer that goes to farm needs to transport his goods. If he doesn't have a good road, and at the end of the day, or his vehicle somersaulted or fall down, his effort in the past 1-6 that produce is go to my state, for example. Governor Bodi Oyebanji is doing a very good road network. I will tell you, I'm here seated on a national television. I'm somebody that said the way he is. Isaac Adeleke worked in Ocean. Even this is federal government road. You see, when I see the truth,
you mean Ademola
Adeleke, I will say it. Let me move to Ibadan, Sheyi Makinde. I grew up part of my life in Bodi. The roads Sheyi, the pavement, a lot of things Sheyi is doing. The bridges are the so-called bypass. I won't deny. That's one thing with me. Go to Mr. Solution. I want to talk of the opposition. Mr. Solution is Soludo. Go and check what the Southeast as a whole, as I speak to you, that they have the best road connectivity instead of connecting federal to the state. It's because of this fund availability. There is no way you must fix on certain things first. And that's why nobody is complaining about road. And structure is the key. 3 major forms of transportation, either with goods or services: air, land, sea, road. What is the closest one to our people? Road. The governors, as I'm talking to you, go to Delta. Go and look at what the governor is doing in terms of. Go to Gombe. You see, when you have a decay infrastructure, and Nigeria is a very big country, what Governor Sanwo-Olu is doing in GRA Ikeja and some other areas, Badagry as we speak, you are crying Badagry, traveling from Mile 2 to Badagry. What is this Badagry? From Mile 2 to before you use 3 days. That is very, and that's of subsidy. And there's no way the figures being governors is nowadays. Fact, so governors are but decay structure. See, Kogi State, we all know it was a den of insecurity, but we all see the program very by what is his name? Ododo. Kaduna. See, one thing I hate is when people talk about bad belly. You know, I've talked about opposition governors. And me, I'm always a very straight person. Go to what OT is doing. It doesn't mean election now comes on. Because these are states I know before. Okay. Bayelsa. If the election now comes down and the people say, yeah, but are these people really using the money? Have you Southeast not this? Those two masses are not high. It's the effect on the, and that's why the food prices gradually we are now begging people to be patriotic. I have said about my own state, no, what is collected is complaining. No pensioners is complaining.
So the food prices are dropping. There's also this accusation by the All Farmers Association of Nigeria that though the president gave a lot of fertilizers that they should be given to the farmers free of charge, but there is this allegation that they cannot even access those fertilizers. They all are of Nigeria into consideration the next harvest season. Farmers can't access fertilizers. Don't you think that will greatly affect of production? And what exactly is the government going to do to ensure that these bodies that has synergy with the real farmers have access to these fertilizers?
Thank you very much. You know, farming has a chain. Fertilizer is one. In the northern part of Nigeria, where we have almost 60% of food produce come from, on large-scale farming. I know it's always 2 seasons of fertilizer distribution. One comes around February, when Governor Tambuwa was governor, which you call February for planting season, and the other one comes now. An issue has been raised there. And you see, that's why last is multiple station. The Minister of Agri, thank God the PS of Agri, is a brother, is a friend. He was the former PS of my agency ministry. I will ask him that, but we should also be careful. A statement categorically made by the farmer nation always been you set of people, just like what happened to me in my agencies, who call themselves developers with no address. And you could see a media publication publishing such a thing. And I said, where are these people? I think my last program, you people asked me, and I said, where are they? These developers are not. So this is some of them. Please verify. As much as I will get across, you've raised an issue. It's not my agency, it's not my ministry. I have not come an association to have said that publicly. I think the ministry and everyone else would have. If they do, are hearing now. Yeah. So I know there will be a change. The government has procured 2,000 tractors that landed from, I think, Belarus or America. Tractors with Agricultural Development Bank. Nobody is saying that. Another 10,000 to be produced by a company in the US. The 2,000 have landed. They are now going for distribution, if not being distributed. Another 2,000 is landing. God did what he did in Niger when he declared food basket issue. So you see, when we are that part, that's why I said agriculture is a value chain. Where you do mechanization, you also need plants, and the government is making sure that plants machineries are coming in. You know, plant machineries are not things you do in one day. You do, but the first 2,000 have arrived, to the best of my knowledge, which I've seen through the Agricultural Development Bank. And like you said, your complaint, I will ask the PS Agri. If I have opportunity next time, I would have gotten my facts, and I'll go and check. I will even go to some of this distribution that is done by states, because in the northern part of the country, the fertilizer is highly needed because of the land large-scale farming.
Elections in the next 5 months, I suppose, either retain or bring in another person. You, as one of his men on the field, what will you tell Nigerians to look out or to be the basis for their decision to retain as president?
Oh, thank you very much. I think our distinct president by have said it. That's why you could realize I'm talking about issues. You see, I don't talk much about politics. I talk about how it affects the common man. If the common man cannot counter majority of my arguments, then, and if most voters, which are Nigerians, can just of 10 years ago, how Lagos-Ibadan Express Road were, how these mentioned were, how the level of has been called, Interior Ministry have worked, Storm and the Port Authority, application of now affected millions of children, the health sector with the health insurance, the recruitment, the alternative to fuel, which is petrol, gas is now coming in, the stability of dollar, which actually went up but now is stable, availability of foreign exchange. The reason why I don't talk about these figures of foreign exchange and dollars is just because I see it more as a elitist thing. And you can see the way I've been going is talking what the Nigerian man on street would benefit. If for the elites they've seen what dollars is, we all listened to what Tony Olumide days ago, if not yesterday, about what the crude oil used to be, because he is in the business of oil and gas. It's everywhere, if you guys have not watched it. When he spoke in 2023, and why he begged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and what the situation is today, if Nigerians can look at how long it took them to take passport, with 200 backlogs, 200,000 backlog when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, and now over 2 million has been issued. And if Nigerians who even stayed abroad while I was in UK knew the headache of traveling down home by looking for CTC, you cannot even get passport. And now, in the comfort zone of the houses in Peckham, in Thamesmead, in America, in China, passports can now be sent to them at home without coming to the High Commission and Embassy. If Nigeria can look at the military brigades, more divisions being created, and battalions. In my lifetime, I never thought Ekiti without the military battalion. Now, what is the government doing? Apart from creating the brigades, if I'm right, the divisions. We used to have like 6 or 7 before 8. I know Ibadan, Enugu. Now it has increased. You can now see a man creating battalions to it, bringing security and safety closer to every community before it challenges. If Nigeria can see a man that wants a quick response time to their insecurity issue by creating state police, so that respond. If you watch CNN or any foreign TV when there is crime, the first question you must tell the journalists and the people is the response time. What the response time does, that is the time of combat against the actual happenings. And I'm telling you, United States of America, if your response time is less than 5 minutes to any insecurity issues, if care is not taken, the head of that agency, the mayor, might go in for it. Because your response time reduces the amount of casualty. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has decentralized power, who used to be on the exclusive list in this country, and has now taken it to the states and to average Nigerian, it will take some few more time, like I said, invest. You see, there's no need to deceive ourselves here. Power is not a small boy's game. Yes, but the first thing you need is that powers of decentralization. And President Tinubu has taken the bull by the end. In another 4 years, 5 years, states, investors are coming in, building the power sector. Nigerians will start having light. You see, when they see light, now I've said it, and I won't deceive myself. It's because there's rainy season. Don't deceive yourself. Yes, that's the truth. Because we use hydro majorly. I don't know how to lie. I've been in this country. But you see, that decentralization of removing power from concurrent lists, if that's the only thing Nigeria will now know Bola Ahmed Tinubu for, in another 10 years, just like what he wanted to do in Lagos in Aaron. If recruitments into the Nigerian army, recruitment of forest guards, that means employment provision and employment into road safety, into this, into that is going on, which Federal Housing Authority did not recruit for over 20 years. Now we have recruited close to 400. 20 years before I came in. So if Nigerians or families who their children are now in Federal Housing Authority, yes, we did not recruit for 20 years. The facts are there. I thought it was a moribund institution, awaiting to pack up. Many agencies like that. Now it has come to life. The younger ones, the physically challenged, are now there. If that's what they will remember Tinubu for. The port authority that I told you when some of us were trying to survive in early days of Tokumbo, that took me to Togo in Ilakoji. People that knows what I'm saying, knows what I'm saying. Aflao Ilakoji. Ilakoji is the boundary between the Republic of Benin and Togo through the port. And he's now working on our deep sea shores with our keys. And the eras of Tokumbo will stop. And that's why Togo took that advantage of tax-free duties. And Nigerians, Tinubu has brought going to UK on a state visit, which no president have visited UK. UK had not invited any president for 40 years. And Tinubu did not just only went there, he signed close to £1 billion joint venture deal with the UK government in expanding our port authority.
All right, Honorable.
If for Nelfund, students who could graduate for 4 years and their parents can rethink that, is it possible for my child to graduate in 4 years? I don't think we need to start discussing. All residents in Abuja under Governor Nelson, His Excellency the Minister Nelson Wike, which you and I thought some of these things were rocket science, linking roads together, bridges together, overnight, street lights and everything. His Excellency Governor Wike brought Abuja back to life. Residents in Abuja, I know what they are saying. All over the Federation I've thought about roads. I've talked about all these things. I think a very good patriotic Nigerians should not be talking about contest. But normally you have to contest. People must contest your position. but I know the people will decide with their thumbprint.
All right,
why Tinubu must continue.
Why people will decide with their thumbprint? Now that we see that men like yourself under the Tinubu administration are coming out to defend the policies and the reforms under this administration, there are suggestions that the administration appears jittery because of the rising profile of some major opposition figures like Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. What do you have to say about that?
You have said something here. One is my respected father, Abubakar Atiku. One is my respected brother. I wasn't brought up to be talking about people. I'm serious. Ask people that knows me. When you are saying a rising profile, I don't understand. I want people to tell me issues that you will do better. What is profile? Tinubu is a president now. He was a governor.
Okay, speaking about issues, let me bring you directly back to this subsidy issue, because Atiku Abubakar said that if he is elected, he will return subsidy, which many people would say is the major cause of the hardship they feel currently. Do you think that may be considerable or is realistic?
I will still repeat something. I said these people are my seniors. But I will tell you one thing. What was the same statement by President Atiku, Vice President Atiku, 4 years ago? Have you forgotten? Check your media history when he said subsidy will be removed. Now it's coming back again. You see, don't let us play politics. It's coming back again and said you are restoring subsidy. That's why I said we should be careful with the word subsidy. Just we are laying it to petrol. We are not putting subsidy. That's what I'm doing this morning. What they do in advanced work is to subsidize across board. Nigerians should be well thought of. And if I have a chance of sitting with His Excellency, my most respected father, Atiku, I will sit him, I will talk to him, and I'll say, sir, you can contest and win, or the otherwise. But subsidy, my best advice for you, is gone for good. You see, don't let us be playing games here. Then somebody came and said his manifesto is in his pocket. How can your manifesto be in your pocket? Tell us. I'm here telling you what Tinubu has done. Please let their people tell me what their bosses will do. They will now use in comparative of what are you going to do better. Before President Tinubu became president, he said state police. He has achieved it. Before he became president, he said deregulation of power. He has achieved it. Before he became president, he talked about education, NEL fund. Even go knowing fully towards free education, he has achieved it. Health sector is achieving. Economy is achieving. My dear, I said something the other time, and I'm repeating. I read BA Politics, Masters in Peace and Conflict Studies, presently studying in a private university where I study international relations and diplomacy. I need a manifesto. I need a manifesto. You must tell me what you want to do now that you seem different to what I have just said. Then I will engage you. And I want to engage their people. You see, forget all this index. You see what I hate. You see some people on media, according to Fox Index, according to... That's why I say, I don't listen to an index said this. According to social America, America, they are living their life. Nigeria, how does it affect that common man? Is it affecting the common man? CNG, yes. What we need is expansion of more CNG stations so that there will be less crew. But as the man started it, yes. They now, just like SIM card. In those days when it started, 100,000 naira. Then I was in UK doing my degree. When I come home, I always borrow because I could not afford. Now, people waited patiently. Now, SIM card is zero giving at no cost. So, how do we now look at somebody putting things right? Nigerian airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport, if you land in Abuja International Airport, which was done by APC government under Buhari, now Lagos is about to be completed. My sister, in Abuja alone, have you seen the biometrics they do now, capturing those who enter into Nigeria? And they are doing a first-class, wonderful one in Lagos now. You will be proud you are a Nigerian. Compared to before, when you are walking at Murtala International Airport, and my head will be touching roof, and you'll be running. I have one retired old general, my father. You know, when he's at the airport, he'll be running, his head will be touching roof.
All right, Honorable.
And now you want to have
3
a good
minutes.
one.
I don't know if anyone will have a question.
Yeah, just talking to your, colleagues in general. We have people from the opposition already. The political space is getting more exciting. You have engaged the media today in terms of, the concepts and actualities of the current administration. Don't forget that APC was opposition, and now it's the party in the center. What will be your word generally as the game begins?
Well, my word generally, I've said it here. I've said what my party has done. Sorry, what my party is doing.
I'm talking about political messaging now.
Well, you see, we need to be very careful of political message. Me, I'm after the people. Every politician is a selfish person. Sometimes you just want power for the aggrandization. Like I told you when I was appointed, my ED store, they will get Prado and Lexus Jeep. Sometimes, and I told them, but now they thank me and they realize it. I has to be service to nation. Let me tell you, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I know. If not for DSS security, he should be driving bulletproof and covered. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't care. And that's why you see at any point of issue raised against his extravaganza, lifestyle in terms of his protocols and everything when he travels, what does he do immediately? He cuts it off. This is a man that sleeps on a chair. I'm telling you, ask about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So my message to opposition who are contesting, I was opposition, my brothers, my fathers who are contesting is, they should sit down. They know all these things I'm saying. They should sit down and try and analyze. They should go to the market, go to all these things, and not just what some people, you need to be very careful with our people. That's why I talked about patriotism. Nigerians can just see you and they get angry against you because you are doing well. That is the purpose of Nigerians. And they will say, what is the factor why you are angry and are not against? And they will say, in Yoruba, mo kon binu e sha. I don't know if I agree with that English.
Honorable, it's a fine place to leave the conversation, but we must say thank you so much for responding to our questions. I believe we touched on all areas, and it's a fine place to leave it. Thank you so much, my colleagues, for your beautiful questions. We hope to see you again some other time. And to our viewers at home, thank you so much for staying with us throughout the conversation. Ultimately, I believe Nigerians will continue to assess the renewed hope agenda and if it truly translates to their everyday life. For now, I am TJ Su Adiri, and I'll see you again some other time. Bye for now.